ninth chapter, probability. This chapter belongs to mathematics 2A, part 14. Last part completed in pounded 7 marks problem by using mutually exclusive events and exact events. Similarly, dependent and independent events model problems completed. Today class discuss important definition, that is conditional event. Which definition? Conditional event. What is the conditional event? Here A comma B are two events in a sample space S. In a sample space S, A comma B are two events. Then the event of happening A, happening B, event of happening B after the event of A. Event of happening B happening after the event of A happening is called conditional event. In this conditional event is denoted with B by A. Here, which one is first happening? Here, happening of B after the event of A. First A event happening, after that B event happening. That's why you can write B by A. Similarly, here happening B, happening A after the event B happening. Understood or not? Here happening B after the event A happening, one conditional probability. Suppose happening A after the event B happening, that is also B conditional probability, that is denoted with the A by B. That the conditional probability or conditional event are denoted with the A by B. A by B, in this A by B, first B happening, after that A happening. In this B by A, first A happening, after that B happening. These two are conditional events definition. After that, next point is conditional probability. What is the meaning of conditional probability? Once again, A comma B are any two events in a sample space capital S, and their P of A not equal to 0. The probability of B happening after the probability of A occurred. The probability of B after the probability of B after the event A probability occurred is called conditional probability. Simple, we can write happening before probability of happening B after the probability of A happening. That probability is called conditional probability. In this conditional probability are denoted with the here first A happening, A occurred, after that B occurred. That's why you can write P of B by A. We know that P of B by A. You don't know P of B by A formula. What is the formula P of B by A? P of B by A formula is P of A intersection B by P of A. Here P of A must and should not equal to 0. If P of A equal to 0, that the probability cannot be defined. This is the P of B by A formula. What is that formula? P of A intersection B by P of A. In this case, P of A compulsory not equal to 0. Next conditional probability formula is there. What is that? The probability of A. The probability of A after the B occurring. The probability of A after the B occurring is denoted with the P of A by B. Is denoted with the P of A by B. If this conditional probability are satisfied, P of B is not equal to 0. This is a one more definition. Here P of B by A definition is completed. In this definition, you can interchange the events. First A event occurred, after that B event occurred, that is B by A. First B event is occurred, after that A is occurred, A by B. This P of A by B is a conditional probability. In this conditional probability, P of B must and should not equal to 0. P of A by B formula is there. What is the formula P of A by B? P of A by B is equal to P of A intersection B by P of B. In this case, P of B must and should not equal to 0. If P of B equal to 0, this conditional probability is not defined. This is the conditional event definition. This is the conditional probability definition. In this conditional event or conditional probability, in these two definitions, any one definition come to the IP examination 4 marks problem. That's why you can perfectly read and write these two definitions, you get 4 marks. Okay, students? This theorem is very important 4 marks problem in IP examination. This theorem coming to the 4 marks. What is that theorem? State and prove that multiplication theorem on probability. Here, first you can write statement. You can write statement that having 2 marks. And you can prove that theorem 2 marks, total 4 marks coming to the IP examination. Sometimes this question coming to the 7 marks in IP examination. In statement, if A, B are any two events in a sample space. Yes. Here sample space is A, B are any two events, and if P of A value is greater than 0, similarly P of B also be greater than 0. P of A nothing but probability of A is must and should do more than 0. Probability of B also be must and should more than 0. That's why in this theorem can be applicable. Then P of A intersection B is equal to P of A intersection B is equal to P of A into P of B by A, that is equal to P of B into P of A by B. This is the multiplication theorem on probability. This is very important theorem. This theorem is a multiplication theorem on probability. This is the statement. Once again explain the statement. If A, B are any two events on the sample space capital X, then the probability of A and the probability of B both are greater than 0, nothing but more than 0. Then P of A intersection B equal to P of A into P of B by A, that is equal to P of B into P of A by B. This is the statement of multiplication theorem on probability. After that, you can do the proof. In this proof, first you can write the definition of conditional probability by the conditional probability definition. By the definition of conditional probability. Conditional probability. What is the definition of conditional probability? P of B by A definition is there, and P of A by B definition is there. In this P of B by A, first A is occurred, after that the event B occurred. In this P of A by B, first B event can be occurred, after that A event can be occurred. P of A B by A formula is there. P of A intersection B by P of A. Similarly, P of A by B also is there. P of A intersection B by P of B. These two are the formulas of this is the conditional probability. First A occurred, after that B occurred. Here first B occurred, after A occurred. Here in this probability you can write P of A intersection B. P of A intersection B is equal to what? P of A intersection B is equal to P of A into P of B by A. Suppose we have to take this is equation 1. Similarly, in this case, P of A intersection B is equal to P of B into P of A by B. Suppose we have to take this is equation number 2. In these two formulas coming to the which definition? That definition is a conditional probability definition. What is the definition of conditional probability? The probability of B occurred after the A occurring. Here, the probability of B occurred after the A occurring is called P of B by A. The probability of A occurred after the B occurring, that is P of A by B. We know that P of A by B by A formula, P of B intersection A intersection B by P of A. Here P of A must and should not equal to 0. If P of A equal to 0, this conditional probability cannot be defined. Similarly, here also P of B must and should not equal to 0. In this case also, if P of B equal to 0, that value probability also be not defined. In this case, P of B by A equal to what is that formula? P of A intersection B of A intersection B by P of A. P of A by B formula what? P of intersection B by P of B. After that, you can cross multiply. You can find here P of A intersection B. P of intersection B equal to P of A into P of B by A. Here P of A intersection B equal to P of B into P of A by B. These two cases. These two cases you can come to the definition of conditional probability. Okay, students. After that, from 1 and 2, from equation 1 and 2, which part are equal? LHS part equal. P of A intersection B. Here also P of A intersection B. You can write P of A intersection B equal to P of A into P of B by A. That is equal to P of B into P of B A by B. Understood or not? In these two cases, P of A intersection B equal to, here P of A intersection B, P of A intersection B equal to P of A into P of B by A, that equal to P of B into P of A by B. This is the multiplication theorem on probability. This is very important. You can write a statement. You get 2 marks. You can write proof. You get 2 marks. Total 4 marks coming to the IB examination. Sometimes this problem statement are given 4 marks. Just to prove this proof having 4 marks. In this proof, conditional probability definition 2 marks. P of B by A 1 mark, P of A by B another mark, total 2 marks, just to conditional probability definition. After that simplification, you get 2 marks. This is a very important conditional event and conditional probability and multiplication theorem on probability. These are the important theorems and definition of the second, third exercise 9C. Okay, students. Also explained dependent and independent variable. Independent nothing but P of A intersection B is equal to P of A into P of B. This A comma B are called independent events. P of intersection B equal to P of A into P of B, that two events are called independent event. Suppose P of A intersection B is not equal to P of A into P of A, that two events are called dependent events. Which events? Dependent events. This is also one more definition. Already explained this definition previous classes.